My name is Marcel. Oh no, that's not the first time I've done that. My name is Marcel, and I'm partially a shell, as you can see on my body, but I also have shoes and a face, so I like that about myself, and I like myself, and I have a lot of other good qualities as well. Guess why I smile a lot?
Why?
'Cause it's worth it.
In today's hectic and ever-changing world, sometimes our thoughts are pushed aside and we lose track of what is truly important. With so much happening in everyone's day-to-day life, getting wrapped up in the complexity of it all is quite easy to do. But it's important to stop ourselves. There's so much to appreciate in this world, all one has to do is take a deep breath and soak it in. A24's latest wholesome addition to their catalog, Marcel the Shell with Shoes On, reminds us that basking in the normalcy of existence is one of life's many necessities. Along with community, love, and a simple zest for happiness, all of Marcel's one-inch being displays the true purpose of life. Originally conceived by director Dean Fleischer Camp back in 2010, the idea of the character Marcel took root after his first YouTube video was uploaded. The video became a quick sensation and has over 32 million views as of now. Two parts followed after the success of the first, both installments holding the same title as the original, but with numerals attached to reflect the order of release. Marcel's vibrant and heartwarming personality is showcased brilliantly throughout these three short videos, and a feature film with him simply talking would be substantial on its own. Dean Fleischer Camp himself plays the role of a documentary filmmaker and is integrated throughout the videos as well, since he provides Marcel with questions that allow the shell's cheery disposition to shine through. In 2014, voice actress Jenny Slate along with Fleischer Camp announced their plan to make a feature-length film, and starting on June 24, 2022, the limited release granted the audience a 90-minute film filled with nothing but pure wholesomeness and joy. Here are the films that I will discuss/mention in the video, so please proceed with caution if you don't want your viewing experience to be spoiled for any of these. The film revolves around the relationship of Marcel and Dean, who documents Marcel's constant stream of consciousness, all while capturing the magic essence of Marcel's life. Marcel's outlook on the little things makes the simplest of actions carry a weight larger than themselves. He single-handedly brightens the mood in the room for everyone and carries himself in a way where only truth is present. Tasks that Marcel takes care of include walking Alan, a pet ball of Lynn, getting items from the backyard, and watching the show 60 Minutes, hosted by Leslie Stahl with his Nana Connie, voiced by the lovely Isabella Rossellini. There is an aura of calmness one comes to appreciate while watching him, and his unbounded, carefree way of moving through the day highlights the importance of daily, small trivialities which we all undergo. There are three other filmmakers other than the newly added Fleischer Camp that come to mind when I think of capturing the essence of daily life. Richard Linklater, Jim Jarmusch, and Wim Wenders. Each has their distinct style of conveying life's wonder, but Marcel and his actions are driven by a combination of the three. In Richard Linklater's Before trilogy, each film revolves around a different period of life in Jesse and Celine, portrayed by Ethan Hawke and Julie Delpy respectively, and their intricate relationship. They prove that bonding with one another creates beauty. Each film in the trilogy is separated by 9 years, reinforcing the power of connection, and we witness the beginning of their relationship while seeing how one small interaction alters the course of the couple's lives. The passage of time depicted forges an unbreakable attachment, one where truth is always present. Although Jesse and Celine eventually end up in a romantic relationship, the dynamic of truth is equally as important in the platonic counterpart between Marcel and Dean. Similarly to how Jesse and Celine start their lifelong journey by coincidentally being on the same train, leading to Jesse asking her to come off with him, Dean's random choice to live in this specific Airbnb leads him to cross paths with Marcel. As both characters simultaneously feel more comfortable around each other, Dean's questions begin to get deeper, allowing us to understand Marcel fully. Marcel is always truthful with Dean, even highlighting his reluctance to form new relationships, which soon leads Dean to break out of his shell. Dean helps Marcel in return by encouraging him to participate in the 60 Minutes interview, per the request of Nana Connie. Although we only are provided a short view of their time together, we know that by the end they will forever be important in each other's lives. Both sets of characters are presented in such a personal way, and even though their lives and experiences may be different from theirs, We can sympathize and understand their feelings in some way, shape, or form.
There's a wind that blows in from the north, and it says that loving takes this course. Come here.
Sometimes people say that my head is too big for my body, and then I say, compared to what?
In Jim Jarmusch's Stranger Than Paradise, the film focuses on 3 characters and how they interact with one another and the world around them. The events of the film are incredibly minimalistic, and the viewer grows into the beauty as it progresses. Many scenes feature longer takes with characters doing simple things, such as Esther Ballin's character Ava listening to her favorite song. If you told someone about the endeavors portrayed in Marcel's journey, they might find it difficult to understand why they are so magnificent. Only at the end of the movie do we see an example of exogenous beauty which isn't directly related to Marcel. Marcel's presence itself is what makes the surrounding environment and the affairs that take place within it so special. Not every film has to contain an extravagant narrative filled with adventure, and I'm glad that films with a calm aura and soft heart are getting just as much attention as those. There's a place for everything in the world of cinema. I also believe that the art form itself is intertwined with this idea because films have infinitely more meaning when they are shared with someone else. People are affected by films in different ways, and this plays a large role in how cinema is quite unlike anything else. In Stranger Than Paradise, the moments between John Lurie's and Richard Edson's characters Willie and Eddie are elevated simply because of the odd dynamic revolving around their companionship.
Willie, when we get to Cleveland, where are we gonna stay? With your cousin Ava and your aunt?
No.
You think your cousin Ava will remember me?
I doubt it, Eddie. How much money we got?
Oh, we got a lot.
How much is a lot, Eddie?
We got a lot. We got almost $600.
You're all right, Eddie. You know?
Well, we're a couple of rich men now.
Sharing these apparently prosaic moments somehow causes the interactions to be even more memorable to the viewer. Dean's role in documenting Marcel's actions also has a purpose, to establish a connection between Marcel and his viewers. Marcel impacts those from afar and up close, bringing happiness to the people who watch the YouTube video, while directly influencing Dean and Nana Connie. Jarmusch's Patterson also focuses on discovering contentment in the mundane. Patterson, portrayed by Adam Driver, uses poetry to connect with the world around him. He has a normal life, just like Marcel. They do their daily tasks, driving the bus for work, tending the garden, and taking care of their loved ones. Patterson's wife, Laura, portrayed by Golshifteh Farahani, helps him to continue to keep moving forward in life, similarly to how Nana Connie assists Marcel. Within their daily routines, there lies an overwhelming amount of fascination.
Here is the most beautiful match in the world. So sober and furious and stubbornly ready to burst into flame. Lighting, perhaps, the cigarette of the woman you love for the first time, and it was never really the same after that.
In Fleischerkamp's A24 note, he states, he reminds us of an essential truth, one that gets to the heart of why I made this movie. We grow back stronger at the break. Patterson and Marcel both deal with loss, but their perseverance is never broken. We go through life every day and face the same struggles, but the only important thing to do is to keep trying, no matter what the setback is. Despite his huge disadvantages, Marcel never despairs and he isn't given to self-pity. Where he finds hope, he doesn't race to snuff it out, as so many of us do, for fear that it will make him look stupid in defeat. Sure, he's cute. Yes, okay, he's witty. But the reason why he is loved by millions is because he loves himself.
Do you want to see me try to turn the page?
Yeah, sure.
Read on.
In Wim Wenders' Wings of Desire, Bruno Ganz plays Daniel, an angel who seeks deeper meaning through human experience. Since we go through the normalcy of life every day, we forget how precious these feelings and affairs can be. Daniel sees color, tastes food, drinks coffee, and absorbs it all. The library scene from the film features angels observing humans. There is nothing in this scene that a normal human could not experience, but through the lens of Wenders' mind, the viewer is introduced to another level of spectacle. Perspective is what truly matters, and this approach is one I take myself when viewing films.
Gleich. Diese vielen Gleichungen kann man zusammenfassen zu einer Eins. Der Vorteil dieses Vorgangs besteht darin.
Marcel also uses his environment to propel him forward, and he yearns to try new things while cherishing the old. His open-mindedness to anything new, along with this unchanging ambience of happiness, allows him to be a complex individual. Marcel elicits a varied reaction from everyone, and based on our own experiences, we either relate or sympathize with him. People sometimes strive too much for the new and forget the significance of what they already have. We forget to treasure what we have in our lives that others may not. The problems that we face are obstacles that we must break through and overcome to grow. Daniel's love for Marion opens up something previously unattainable, a true understanding of oneself and the uniqueness of being human. Marcel's love for everything and those around him has the same effect, and the challenges he faces forge and fuel his everlasting spirit.
All he cares about is treats. Treats and snoozing. Look at him. Treats and snoozing. Snoozing and treats. That's it.
Going back to perspective, the best example I can give you of its weight in cinema are through the films of Terrence Malick. If you've seen some of my previous videos, you can probably guess that he's one of my favorite artists ever. Malick is a divisive filmmaker, and his later features have prompted discussion surrounding their lack of a narrative structure and a pattern of certain artistic choices. Depending on who you ask, he can either range from one of the best filmmakers of all time to someone who prefers style over substance. I find his work to be profound and unlike anything else due to the visual and philosophical prowess present in all of his films. If you go into a later Malick film expecting a strong narrative structure, you most likely won't be a fan. But the beauty in his work lies elsewhere, and the focus should be placed on the area of where it aims to stimulate. Life is like this for Marcel, since he wants and expects the same from it, ultimately allowing him to be content with his existence. Marcel teaches us that one's passage through life fundamentally depends on perspective. How we view ourselves, the people closest to us, and our surroundings contribute to understanding the purpose of it all. These simple messages are presented to the viewer. Never give up, trust others, and care for those around you. By looking at the world through another one's lens, it enables us to become more compassionate while unlocking our inner selves. There's a great saying that my favorite films always seem to be on kind of a nodding terms with. Growth is the only evidence of life. This film is personal, not just because of the porous relationship between my real-life experiences and those of the Dean that I play on screen, but also because it reflects the positive role that certain losses have played in my life and play in all lives. What making the film taught me, and what I hope it can offer audiences, is that heartache and grief are not themselves final outcomes, but just snapshots of a continuous churn. This film is a tribute to that process, to the inevitability of change and its promise of new growth. It's a cycle that sometimes seems miraculous, but couldn't be more ordinary, and which we ought to embrace, but rarely do.
When you come to the end of a perfect day and you sit alone with your thoughts, when the chimes ring out with the carol gay for the joy that the day has brought, do you think what the end of a perfect day could mean to a tired heart? When the sun goes down with the flaming ray and the dear friends have to part.
That's beautiful.
Thanks.
It's incredible how two films about angels and anthropomorphic shells turn out to be the ones that teach us the most about being human. If we don't stop and look for the beauty and meaning around us, it won't appear. You have to want to find it, and it may take shape in many forms. Family, community, nature, and the simplicity of life in general are all avenues one can explore to see how wonderful our world is. Marcel doesn't have all of life's luxuries, and he doesn't even realize how vast the world is. He simply coasts along, exuding an excess of cheerfulness wherever he goes. He is small, but his impact is far greater than ever imaginable. The last sequence is touching beyond words. The presence of nature has always been an aspect of filmmaking that I love, and his small inclusion here adds the final touch of tranquility needed, ultimately allowing us to see that Marcel has found peace in his journey and life. At the core, he will always be the same little adorable, life-loving shell, but his perspective on life empowers him to share his love for the world in a way that no one else could. Marcel the Shell with Shoes On should be playing in a theater near you, and I encourage you to watch it as soon as possible. It is without a doubt one of the best films of the year so far. It's my new personal comfort film, and hopefully it'll be yours too. Thank you for watching. If you want to support my work even further, feel free to check out my Patreon in the description down below. I'm planning to get out some newer film reviews as well, so be sure to subscribe with notifications on, and stay tuned for more content. The next time life gets a bit too much for you, be sure to linger a little longer.
I wanna linger a little longer, a little longer here with you. It's such a perfect night, it doesn't seem so right that it should be my last with you. Come September, I will remember the happy days I spent with you. And as the years go by, I'll think of you and sigh that it's so long and not goodbye.